Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new Ninjago video here on the channel. My name is TannerFishies. In today's video, we are once again going to be discussing Ninjago United, or whatever the Ninjago 2023 series will be called, and a recent piece of news that we got over this past weekend involving our first look at Ninjago United, or again, whatever this 2023 series will end up being. Now, in case you guys are not caught up to speed, we recently got this image from Lloyd Chinese voice actor. Obviously, they are currently doing dub work on the upcoming Ninjago United series, and the voice actor revealed this image right here, showcasing a very rough first look at Lloyd, but a first look at Lloyd nonetheless. And yes, this is Lloyd right here. A lot of people in my comments were kind of confused over who this character is. That is very clearly Lloyd. In fact, if you zoom in a little bit lower on the picture, there's a clearer look at the image itself, and it is indeed Lloyd Garmadon. I saw some people asking if this was Nia or if this was some other person. Nope, this is Lloyd right here, but it's just because of the poor lighting, the poor quality of the picture. I feel like that's why a lot of Ninjago fans assumed that it was somebody different. But transitioning into the topic for today's video, the picture of Lloyd itself does appear to have Lloyd with black eyes, no longer green eyes. And a lot of Ninjago fans were curious as to what that means for Lloyd. Will Lloyd lose his powers again? And if so, what could cause this power loss for Lloyd in Ninjago United? Well, that's exactly what we're going to be discussing in today's video. Just keep in mind this video will be purely speculation based on my part. This is not any confirmation of any news, aside from the actual image itself. Otherwise, every piece of information that I talk about regarding how Lloyd could lose his powers, or whether or not Lloyd actually has lost his powers, that is all just speculation. You have been warned. So in terms of this image of Lloyd, once again, his eyes do look black to me, but they also could be green. Like I said earlier, this picture is not in a very good quality, and the lighting on this image could not be doing us any favors here, and the lower quality of the lighting as well as the lower quality of the image could provide the illusion that Lloyd has black eyes instead of green eyes. He very well could have green eyes. In fact, I'm not really sure what color his eyes are in this picture, whether they're black or green, but let's just say for the sake of this discussion that Lloyd's eyes are indeed black in this image. What exactly does this mean? Well, like was the case last time where Lloyd lost his powers and his eyes turned black, maybe he's losing his powers again in Ninjago United. The last time we saw Lloyd lose his powers like this was back during the Oni trilogy towards the end of Sons of Garmadon and throughout the entire duration of Ninjago Hunted. Lloyd did end up getting his powers back towards the end of that season, and his eyes did return to their regular green status, but before that they were just a pitch black normal eye color for LEGO minifigures. And if that's the case here, I think it's safe to say that Lloyd has indeed lost his powers once again, but in terms of why he lost his powers, that is very much where the speculation comes into play. So in terms of a story reason, I'm not really sure what exactly the case would be for why Lloyd lost his powers, if he is going to be losing his powers at some point this season, because honestly, we don't know a whole lot about this season. Like maybe Lloyd is trying to master his Oni form, but the powers are conflicting with his regular elemental powers, and thus maybe he cancels out his energy property entirely, focusing purely on his Oni form. Maybe the Oni form is too strong and Lloyd physically cannot handle the Oni form's strength along with his traditional elemental power of energy, so perhaps one just cancels out the other one, and in this case, maybe Lloyd's Oni form cancels out his traditional elemental powers. I think that could be the case, especially coming off the back of Ninjago Crystallized, where Lloyd's Oni form was introduced but not really explored all that much. Maybe this new Ninjago United series could see Lloyd actually explore these powers a little bit more and attempt to master his Oni form while also canceling out his energy powers as a result. But I imagine if this is the case towards the end of the season, Lloyd will obviously get his powers back. Maybe he will reject his Oni side as we saw him try to do during Crystallized, or maybe he can find a happy medium between the two. Who's to say? I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. This could also have something to do with Lloyd's powers just purely being worn out following the end of Ninjago Crystallized, because in case you guys don't remember, at the end of Ninjago Crystallized, the other ninja lost their powers with the exception of Nia. The ninja's elemental powers fused together to create the Golden Ultra Dragon, which once the Overlord was defeated, the Golden Ultra Dragon was dispersed across all of Ninjago, as well as the elemental power. And without the ninja having their powers, maybe they can't do as much to defend Ninjago anymore, so Lloyd has to take up the soul mantle of Ninjago's protector. And as a result, he's been using his powers way too much, and perhaps he's simply exhausted. Maybe his powers are failing him because he's using them too much, relying on them too much, because frankly he has to. With the other ninja not having their powers anymore, maybe Lloyd, again, will be the sole protector of Ninjago, overwhelming himself, overusing his powers, and as a result, his powers are just lost at some point during the season. Then again, Master Wu did say that powers are not truly lost, and they did vaguely hint that the ninja will be getting their powers back one day, so maybe this one is not as likely as I think it is. We also have a couple of Ninjago books coming out soon, which are basically going to be exploring the ninja's powers, possibly giving them back during those books, and these books are said to be canon, so maybe we will just see the ninja get their powers back in said books, and they will already start off this new Ninjago series with their powers. And if that's the case, long story short, Lloyd's power loss is probably not a result of of exhaustion. But I still think it could be an interesting subplot for this new season, to explore Lloyd losing his powers or maybe having something go wrong with his power set, trying to hide it from the team, trying to figure out himself why exactly he's losing his powers, and ultimately the season would end with Lloyd overcoming these obstacles, getting stronger as a result, and maybe mastering some type of new power, or even mastering his Oni form. And especially in terms of the Oni form, I feel like Ninjago needs to explore more of this. I wouldn't even mind if the entire Ninjago United season focused on Lloyd's Oni form, especially after Ninjago Crystallized constantly teased us with it only to not deliver towards the very end of the season. That was honestly one of my biggest criticisms towards Ninjago Crystallized. I felt as though Lloyd's Oni form was pretty much just overshadowed by everything else that was going on. So having Lloyd's Oni form be the focus of this new Ninjago series and having his powers conflict with one another, that would be ideal in my opinion. I also think having Lloyd's power loss be a result of the Oni form would separate this storyline from Ninjago Hunted. We don't want Ninjago United to take too much from Ninjago Hunted, and I'm kind of concerned that if Lloyd's powers are being lost again, that they will pretty much just retread what Ninjago Hunted already did. But like I said, having it be about Lloyd's Oni form would separate it from Ninjago Hunted. It would be a completely different situation, and Lloyd's powers would be lost under completely different circumstances. And plus, it's not like the ninja have never lost their powers before either, and they're always coming up with different ways to nerf these characters, take their powers away, give their powers back, so I think this could be possible, and if it is, I have no doubt that they will find something different to do, as opposed to tackling the same storyline as Ninjago Hunted once again. Like I said though, we can't really say for sure what exactly is going on involving Lloyd's powers until we get a higher quality look at Ninjago United, or whatever the Ninjago 2023 season will be called. I think there's a high chance that if Lloyd's eyes are black in this picture, then yes, he probably will lose his powers, but I'm not even sure if they're black in this picture either, because the picture is honestly pretty low quality. And like I said, the lighting for this picture is not the best either, so we have a lot going against us here, in terms of actually figuring out what's going on with Lloyd in Ninjago United, or whatever you want to call the Ninjago 2023 season. But with that being said, guys, that'll pretty much wrap it up from my thoughts here. That's pretty much all I have to say involving Lloyd's power loss and his possible black eyes. I still think having it focus on the Oni form would be ideal, and like I said, maybe those powers could conflict with one another. But you guys already know how I feel about that. Feel free to leave all of your thoughts down below in the comments involving this possible power loss for Lloyd. If the picture does indeed showcase Lloyd with black eyes, how do you think Lloyd's powers will be lost this time around? And what storyline would you personally like to see involving Lloyd's power loss, and do you suspect that the Oni form may have something to do with all of this? Leave all your thoughts down below in the comments, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and like I said, that'll pretty much wrap it up for my thoughts here. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you guys enjoyed today's video, feel free to like and subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and I will talk to you guys again very soon. Peace.